So, in terms of results here, we're going to go into this game, man. Let's talk about this match. A huge game. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 2. This is my team, and I'm telling you guys, they scared the hell out of me here. They scared the hell out of me. They scared the hell out of me in this game because I don't know what got into Arsenal, even with Mikel Arteta not on the sideline. Arsenal played like prime Arsenal. You're talking about prime Arsene Wenger, Arsenal, Henry, Vieira, and co. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. Bergkamp. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I don't know what got into these guys, but it was like Arsenal was playing like City and City was playing like Arsenal. That's what it looked like. But for City, 3 changes made. Grealish, Foden, who wasn't even in the squad. Foden wasn't in the squad. And Fernandinho out. Sterling, Mahrez, and Rodri, the game winner, in. Arteta on the casualty list with coronavirus. Tomiyasu came in for holding. Those are the only changes, basically. So, early on in the game, one of the first big moments, one of the first big talking points was the Edison potential foul on Martin Odegaard that was deemed not a penalty. And a lot of people are saying that it was a penalty. From what I saw, it could have been given a penalty. If I'm being honest, it could have been definitely given a penalty. That could have been given a penalty. And I have to say that we got to count our lucky stars that that wasn't given a penalty, because Arsenal were good in the game and they were compact in defense. They were good on the counter. They even had moments where they kept the ball for long periods of time. We would have lost this game. We would have lost this game. So, type of a 50-50 call there. Edison given the benefit of the doubt. And City, you know, live to fight. There was an opportunity for Diaz. Sterling with the ball in. Header went wide. But the main talking points is from the Martinelli chances. 16th minute saved by Edison. And there was another chance again that I think he put over a little later on in the game. But that early chance, that foray into City's final third, was some devastating stuff by Gabriel Martinelli. We couldn't deal with him. We really couldn't deal with these youngsters, man. I think Arsenal may have missed the trick, if I'm being real, by not starting Emile Smith-Rowe in place of Lacazette. But some may argue that Lacazette may have been the player to hold the ball up and, you know, just to have some type of semblance within the Arsenal team there. You see what I mean? A little experience. But who knows, man? With Martinelli playing through the center, Emile Smith-Rowe out on the wide, could have been more devastating for Arsenal there. But the goal, though, 31st minute, the goal. Brilliant build-up, Tierney picking out Saka, who scored from distance. Really good low-driven shot. Nathan Ake didn't keep close enough. And talk about Lacazette. I think Lacazette kind of drew Nathan Ake towards him, and in the end, kind of blocked the path for Ake to run and defend Saka. So it was some kind of training ground stuff that really worked. And Arsenal with the lead. I was stunned. I was almost rattled, to be honest. I was at work, and I was saying to myself, what the hell am I seeing here? We could be losing to this Arsenal team because they dominated the first half. City up until that point did not get a single shot on target. We couldn't get into their final third. We couldn't really build up anything to threaten them. Aaron Ramsdale could have taken out a newspaper if he wanted. And it was Edison who was the busier of the two goalkeepers. I was like, what the hell am I seeing here? Martinelli with another great chance in the 39th minute as well that was put wide. And look, there was another chance in the 43rd minute by Martinelli, who had a great first half. Bernardo with a giveaway. Martinelli with the run, almost scoring again. He had about 4 big opportunities in the game that he didn't score. But no shots on target, as I mentioned. First half there. None. None at all. Extra time, there was an opportunity. Corner for City. Ramsdale took that out of the air. And there was another opportunity, a free kick by De Bruyne. And, well, De Bruyne and Mahrez stood over the free kick, and Mahrez took it, but it was dealt with. I think that might have been the only shot on target for the entire first half. And Arsenal leading. That was the second time this season that City had trailed in the first half of any game this season. And the previous game was against a London club. We only lost to London clubs this season. Tottenham and Crystal Palace. And against Palace, City trailed at halftime and went on to lose the game 2-0. So I was getting that deja vu kind of vibes from that game, man. I was like, oh no, this is not happening all over again. And on a weekend where, Chelsea, Liverpool was playing, it was important that City win their game. You see what I'm saying? In a week where Liverpool and Chelsea dropped points previously, it was important that we followed it up with a win and not, have him say, ha, you lost the game. You see what I'm saying? I bet you were talking all week about how Liverpool and Chelsea dropped points, and look, you were dropping points. I was fair in that. I was honestly fair in hearing that from you guys in the comments. But the character of a great team is how well they can bounce back. Now, how well you could win and go ahead and whatnot is how well you could bounce back when you are in the hole. Okay? I think Arsenal really deserved the lead at halftime. They looked the better team. They took the game to City. The game management was on point, and mentioning game management, that would have been key for them to hold on to the 3 points, which they later relinquished. Very positive approach in the first half, but the second half was a calamity. It was a total meltdown. The disparity between the second and the first half was as large as Lake Victoria. That's how big it was. I'm telling you, it was day and night. Day and night. And that give City the opportunity to get back in the game, smell blood in the water, pounced, and won. 54th minute. Xhaka tug on Bernardo Silva's shirt. Tug on Bernardo Silva's shirt. The ref waved it away initially, which I like that he did, because it showed that he was actually decisive. And he said, no, get up. I don't like what you did there. Get up. But VAR said, hey, man, I think we need to check this. And when on review, there was a clash of knees as well. That didn't really take Bernardo down. Or maybe somebody say he was going down already. I think it was not the more clear-cut, it was not a clear penalty. It was more of a very soft penalty. Well sold by Bernardo Silva. You got to be a good salesman, right? To be successful here. It's business. But what really did it for me, I know Bernardo kind of went down very easily, but the fact that the numbskull by the name of Granit Xhaka, who I talked about in the build-up, was having a great game up until then, but I talked about the fact that he could switch off at any moment. The fact that he held Bernardo's shirt, that was a penalty in any league. If you watch the Bundesliga, if you watch La Liga, if you watch Liga, if you watch the Champions League, that's a penalty. You're holding the man's shirt. You pulled him, and you held it for a couple seconds. He goes down, meaning that he's trying to get the ball. You hold him. You stop his momentum. He goes down. It's a penalty. It's a penalty. It's a penalty. Initially, it looks like it's not a clear penalty, but from review, it's a penalty. Whether it's soft or whether it was embellished a little by Bernardo, it's a penalty. A lot of times, when Mo Salah or Cristiano Ronaldo, when they win a penalty, you hear the commentators or you hear the pundits say that was clever, that was smart. But in other instances, they might say, it's embellishment. You see? It's the agenda. You see what I'm saying? But Mahrez stepped up to dispatch brilliantly. And the Algerian has been our best goal scorer this season. Which is, when you really think about it, you don't expect that. And I'm telling you guys, I was at work. And my reaction, I wish I had the opportunity to record my reaction like I used to do in the past. I was just punching. Literally, man. It felt so good. It was important. It was imperative that we get back in the game. And Arsenal, they just give us that small window of opportunity. And we took it. We took it in that moment. Great penalty dispatch by Riyad Mahrez, and you got to give the City players a lot of credit. Sterling, Mahrez recently stepping up and taking penalties and scoring them. Because we know the penalty situation was a problem at Manchester City, and that is not a problem anymore. Not a problem anymore when you have the Algerian genius putting them in for fun. So, with that goal, 1-1. That was Mahrez's 6th Premier League goal of the season. Good return. Very good. Equalizing after that Bukayo Saka's goal. That was his 6th of the season. Tierney's 3rd assist. Arsenal are really, neat team, man. Neat team. And with that goal, it prompted a few substitutions. But I'm jumping the gun a bit. The substitutions, for City did come. Gunda one for Jesus, who had a frustrating game. But another big moment in the game. I forgot to actually talk a bit about the Gabriel yellow, the initial yellow. Xhaka did get a yellow for the foul on Bernardo Silva. But in the whole situation where they had to review the penalty, Gabriel got a yellow card for dissent. First, he scratched up the penalty surface, and then he went and yelled at the ref, which was brainless. Should have just calmed his ass down. He got a yellow. And as a defender, you're on a yellow, you're under pressure. Right? 2 minutes later, Gabriel Jesus released. There was so much happening in that moment, though. I'm not doing this in chronological order, but just before that happened, it was the moment where Laporte inadvertently almost headed the ball in the back of the net, and Ake, I should have checked my notes, but it was just all happening. You know what I'm saying? And the emotions are running wild as well. Ake with that clearance off the line. Oh, man, how big that was. And then, with Ederson trying to release Jesus with that goal kick, and then Gabriel held him back, in 5 minutes, Arsenal lost the game. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You play well for 90, and in 5 minutes, you lost the game. We weren't good. I'm not saying we were great in the game. We got very lucky. Arsenal deserved something, but they had a stink of a second half. So throughout that whole 5 minutes, let me just repeat because I got the thing chronologically, I got it wrong. Xhaka pulling down Bernardo, VAR review, penalty given, Mahrez scoring, Gabriel yellow for scuffing up the spot and for descent. Laporte almost heading the ball in the back of the net. Ake clearing it off the line. Martinelli unable to put the rebound in the back of the net. Also almost open goal to put in. And then Ederson's goal kick to Jesus. Jesus, tactical foul by the boy Gabriel Magalhães, fellow Brazilian, given a red card. Arsenal brought down to 10 men, capitulating. Jesus taken off, Gundogan on, Odegaard taken off, Rob Holding brought on, and I don't think Rob Holding made much of a difference. Arsenal should have just left things the way they were and maybe push Partey back in the defense or something. And Thomas Partey was huge in the game. Got to give credit to Thomas Partey as well. So the game was beginning to get a little cagey. Arsenal losing the plot. A lot of yellow cards being shown. I think we got lucky with a lot of the decisions that were made in the game throughout, even with the fouls. I was like, whoa, what is going on here? And people criticize the referee big time. I'm like, what is going on here? We're getting some really good calls. Thank you very much, though. Thank you very much. Holden did get a yellow on Kevin De Bruyne, which put pressure on Rob Holding, seeing that he just came on the field. Lacazette went off. Smith Rowe came on, and Smith Rowe looked good. Smith Rowe looked good as well. Not much more chances to really talk about, but City was just trying to get that second goal. Just get that winning goal, because a draw isn't enough at all. A draw is never enough. Dropping points is not good enough. And that Rodri goal. Rodri, one of the most underrated players who I think have added so much to his game this season. Stepped up big time. And you also got to give credit to Aymeric Laporte as well for just running forward, staying in the forward position. Rodri as well. These guys were playing as center forwards. You talk about false nine, it was Rodri and Laporte at that moment. But you also got to give a lot of credit to Kevin De Bruyne and the vision. He picked his head up. I was watching the game and I saw when he picked his head up and he noticed the position of these players. He got the ball in, and it was not very good defending at all by Arsenal. And I think it was Rob Holding who actually headed the ball to Laporte. De Bruyne tried to pick out Laporte and Rodri, and the ball fell to Arsenal head, and then it eventually fell to Rodri, who scored, scrappy goal, and his celebration was sensational. He took his shirt off and everything. Of course, you know, he got a yellow card for that one, but at that point, he didn't really care. Definitely didn't care, man. 2-1 to City. I went crazy. I wish you guys could have seen it, but I went crazy. I'm talking about yes, kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to reenact it, but I'm telling you, it felt damn good. I like these kind of games, though, that when we're not pushing teams aside 7-0, you know what I mean? And things like that. It's nice to scrap sometimes. It's nice to make things interesting sometimes. But it's just the title race, man. City's just running away with the title race. There ain't no title race. City's running away with the title, I should say. There ain't no title race. It's done. It's done. It is over. It is over. It's game over for the league. People might not want to admit it, but it's game over. Champions will be champions, and I think that was a champion performance. When back against the wall, City bite. Sometimes you have to come from behind. You don't always going to run away with the games. I think it was a massive performance by both teams. Arsenal unlucky not to get something, but City showed immense character, and skill, held their poise, something that Arsenal failed to do, and picked up their 11th consecutive win in the league. And if you guys could recall, a guy by the name of Dominic, right, said back in October, when I was looking forward at the fixtures, I said City are possibly going to win everything in November and everything in December. People said, Dom, what are you talking about? That ain't going to happen. Well, guess what? It happened. Clean sweep. Clean sweep. Clean sweep. Arsenal are building up a little momentum there. I don't think this would stop their momentum whatsoever. They should continue. They're still fourth. Big achievement this season. They just got to continue to build on what they have, achieved so far. They got to fight for the top four. It would be nice. It would be refreshing to see them back in the Champions League again. Quality performance by Arsenal. But it must be very frustrating for the Arsenal fans that they didn't hold on, but also optimistic that they did put up a fight and they were the better team. I think the better team did lose the game. I'm being 100. I think the better team on the day lost the game. But it's just because Manchester City just has this know-how of winning games. And they've had the drop on Arsenal across the last how many Premier League games? You see what I'm saying? So I think that played its part. So what we're going to do briefly is just take a quick look at the upcoming fixtures for Manchester City. Right? Let's take a quick look. We're not going to talk about the games that are gone. 11 wins on the trot. Let's just do something briefly. Man City's win today means they will end New Year's Day with an 11-point lead at the top of the Premier League table. In the competition's history, only Man United in the 93-94 and Man City in the 17-18, both 12 points, had a bigger lead at the end of January 1st in a season. Ridiculous. Man City boss Pep Guardiola has faced Arsenal more often in the league competition without losing than any other team throughout his whole managerial career. Played 11, played 12, win 11, drew 1. Arsenal have now lost 10 straight league encounters with Manchester City, whilst also losing their 8th Premier League game in a row against the competition's reigning champions. Very important to note, right? But let's just go back here to City and the games coming up. Swindon Town this Friday. That's my birthday coming up, guys, by the way. Wish me happy birthday. Chelsea on Saturday, January the 15th. That's a key game. City beat Chelsea already this season. And if Chelsea fail to win this game, they go further behind. Southampton, drop points to Southampton. Brentford recently beat. Look, these are going to be tricky games. Norwich, that should be a win. Then you got Sporting in the Champions League. You got Tottenham, Everton. You got United. You got some tricky games coming up. You got some tricky games coming up for the rest of the season, right? But guys, what I want to say, you take a look at the table. 21 games played, 17 left. 17 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. Best team in the league, best attack, best defense, right? 17 games left. A possible 51 points, which means City could still get 104 points. Do you guys really think that with 17 games left, with a fit team, that City are going to relinquish this lead? A 10-point lead? 10 points? Where even if they lose 2 games, they still got a little 4-point gap. And with Liverpool, you never know what's going to happen to them in the upcoming weeks. And if City do drop points, these are the teams that drop points too, because that's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing. But big up to Arsenal, by the way, who, fought well. Should have got something. They play Liverpool Forest, and Liverpool again in the cups. But in terms of the Premier League, big North London derby. They beat Tottenham early on in the season already. And then they got Burnley, Wolves, Brentford. A good run of games coming up, if you ask me, where they could continue to look and solidify their top 4 status.